one-size-fits-all for almost anything in life. So don't settle for a one-size-fits-all setup. Eliminate the frustration in building with an AI-powered personalized toolkit to boost you forward to victory. Optimize your setup and improve your performance over those cookie-cutter builds used by the rest of the pack. Vantage is iRacing.com's first AI setup builder. Save your time and give back to your personal life. Vantage takes any setup for any track and adjusts it specifically to your needs. Choose from over 100 cars for any paved circuit. A custom-tailored experience that's easy to understand and tested to fit any driver style. Subscriptions as low as $8.50 per month. And for a limited time, new members get a 7-day free trial with unlimited access to all Vantage has to offer. Let Orange Speed Vantage free you of the endless loop of testing and get you back on track to victory lane. Visit orangespeedvantage.ai to get started.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count after 37.
Oh!
Cabot,
where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Race number 2 of the inaugural season at Overtake iRacing League. The Truck Series comes to the virtual Michigan International for what's sure to be another action-packed race. The 2 miles and 4 corners opened in 1968 with Carol Yarborough and Lee Yarborough racing side by side in a close-knitted battle for over 200 miles. And here tonight will be no different as the Overtake iRacing Truck Series comes live. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Alongside me tonight, Morgan Cook, our producer pushing the buttons behind the scenes and color commentary. It's going to be a good one, Morgan. We've seen qualifying just about wrapped up. These drivers have put on some very tight times. We're talking about a couple hundredths of a second with Lucas Lyons and Kyle Mayse. And Kyle Mayse off to an excellent start here as we bring up your points. He brought out what's sure to be a very tight gap. I think it'll be contested with John Mullahan. I saw the racing at Atlanta. We saw some cautions, but here tonight, a much wider track, steeper banking. I think we're going to have a much more loose style race here tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Bradley. Michigan used to be, you would just go into the corner and ride on the right front tire, and the truck would just not turn at all. Last year or so, they've changed that so that it rides on the right rear, and you go into a corner, you can run wide open for the first 5 or 6 laps, but you'll feel it later in the run. It's really going to be about hanging on tonight.
Hanging on is going to be deceitful. That false sense of security on lap 1, where this truck will want to turn really deep into turn 1. Get you down on the inside, and as soon as you get back to the throttle, it's going to make or break some guys. I think that'll be our first caution. We talked about it in pre-race. The opportunity is there for these guys to get 3 wide, and if you're down there on the bottom, you have to be really careful you don't hit that bottom seam, because if you wash up the track, there's going to be 2 guys to your outside to stop you.
That's right, and it'll be similar to Atlanta last week with the pack racing. Should have a lot of trucks really close together, but as the run goes on, it'll string farther and farther and farther apart, just based on tire saving and clean air and all that fun stuff. So, should be an interesting race to watch, and looking forward to it.
Chris McCullough, Brian Kaiser, Nick Gardner, the top 5 in points. We go 24 points back the spread with the first victory of Kyle Mayse. 58 points, leading this going into week number 2. So let's get set for your grid now as we transition over track side. We've got, looks like the number 55 of Kyle Mayse starting on the pole yet again. And like I said, a 100th of a second really separating Lucas Lyons here on the outside. Starting in row number 2, Christopher McCullough and David Sheets. So a lot of guys that are top 10 in points here tonight. They're top 10 to start this race. Kenneth McCullough Jr. and Sean Kaiser start road number 3. Then you have John Mullahan, second place points driver, with Daniel D. Cunningham in 8th. Jeremiah Hobbs and Brett Bieber will round out your top 10.
Eric Parks is going to start 11th tonight. Travis Bieber beside him in P12. Bobby Hall Jr. 13th. Chad Ross 14th. Alex Healy in 15th. Stephen Page in the 56th will start 16th position tonight. Dustin Ryan Stedel 17th. Mikkel Robinson in 18th. Andy Kurt starts 19th tonight. Justin Branham in 20th.
Row number 11 has Nick Gardner, a driver that had a really good show for his first appearance here with these drivers. 21st position, Barrett Morton in 22nd. James Kaufman will start 23rd, and Wes Wiegand, the number 88, is going to be in 24th. Then you have row number 13 with Daniel Worthington, Ron Morris Jr. in the 76th and 26th, Thomas Hall in 27th, 28th, Matthew Fleming. Ryan Kaiser and Michael Cole will round out your top 30. Then it's 4 more cars behind them with Dakota Shepard, Todd Mace. Unusual. See, Todd didn't take a time there, it appears. But all these drivers showing a time, but maybe a little off here. Well over 39 seconds, Justin Miller and CJ Mason. So maybe some guys getting loose during qualifying, but 34 trucks here tonight as they roll off, and we'll show that nice scenic view down here on pit road. Some drivers not going either. It looks like Christopher McCullough late to the grid as we got a little bit of a late go here. Might have to extend the yellow flag for all these drivers to get caught up in time because they were waiting on Christopher McCullough to get going.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a tough start if if there's no if not everyone can make it up there.
Yeah, they got to tighten up the field here pretty dramatically.
Right.
But there they all go now on your screen. A long pit road here. Very easy to speed on. You're coming from about 170, 180 miles per hour off that corner into pit road down to 55. It's very easy to do. And you don't have a lot of runway to land that plane, but I think they're going to get caught up. Hopefully we can get doubled up here and tighten up this field.
I see lights on the pace truck. Let's do one more
Yeah, it
lap.
did extend it. Yep.
We good.
So they gave us an extension here.
Right.
And that's probably for the best because that gives us a chance to maybe pull a driver up here. I'm going to look for a guy that's doing really well in the points right now and starting on the pole. Let's see if we can get Kyle Mayse up here. I'm looking. There he is. The Mayse Mafia. Kyle Mayse, it's Bradley Cooper and Morgan Cook in the V-Speed booth. Do you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Kyle, you started out hot there at Atlanta, at Hot Atlanta. Now you put it up here on the pole. Dominant performance so far at these cookie cutter tracks and looking pretty good here to start this one.
Yeah, I like Michigan. Atlanta was kind of surprised. I really didn't expect to be that good, but I was planning on being pretty decent here.
Well, here tonight, you've got 33 others that are going to try to take it away from you. What's the secret to winning this race?
I don't know. Just stay out of trouble. The stage breaks in a pretty weird spot here. We can't make it all the way, so it's going to be interesting to see what people do.
All right, well, we're doubled up, ready to go. Kyle Mayse and the Mayse Mafia, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, set to go green, the 55. I mean, he's sounding confident on the staying out of trouble part. He mentioned that in Atlanta, he mentioned that here, but that's usually easier said than done. If you start up on the pole, makes it a little bit easier. I'd have to say, though, he's sounding a little bit unconfident that he can stay out of trouble, and that's, 3 wide here at Michigan. But let's find out if the 55 can keep it out of trouble. The 48 of Lucas Lyons on the outside into the Geico start zone, and green flag is out. We're ready to race. Overtake iRacing League Truck Series race number 2 underway. And now side by side for the lead. The 55 is going to lose the position, and it looks like the 48 of Lucas Lyons is going to lead the first time by. And nicely done there by the 48. He got to the inside, but now has the 04 on the outside. Christopher McAuliffe trying to take away that position. They were almost 3 wide there for a moment. The 03, Kenneth McAuliffe. These guys making quick work, and if you're trying to save tires, I would say that's the case here with Kyle Mayse. You don't want to push yourself too early. These guys diving down to the bottom, running that inside. You see the 48 all the way down on that bottom seam. Really easy to get loose and lose it down there, and it could burn off the right rear. These guys will have to be careful with that. You see Mayse getting turbulent back there. They're trying to find a spot because you get such a run down these long straightaways.
Yeah, when you get a run, you really want to do something with it. You don't want to just roll out of the gas. You want to jump to the top, jump to the bottom, make something work. But we're at lap 3 of 75. It's not the time right now to be making those runs happen.
And you see the spread truck drives down to the bottom, comes back up into line. Just back and forth. That's what you're going to see a lot of here, this pack style racing. The 55 just going to have to stay and find the spot in the turns where no one else is to try to save those tires. You see he loses the nose a little bit there and allows the 3 back to the inside again. You have the 6 of Mullihan labeled as the 2 on your screen there. He's starting to make up some ground and almost 3 wide as they enter 1.
So the goal of this race right now, if you're in the top half dozen, even the top 10, is just save your stuff. I know it's enticing to get out there and drive away. It's not going to happen for another probably 10 laps. You're going to have to just be patient, relax, don't get turned, and keep it pointed in the right direction.
Almost 3 wide again there as they go into 3 and 4. And that's what you worry about as a driver. You're trying to run your line and keep your nose clean. Now definitely 3 wide down the front stretch. Mullihan on the inside. The 3 of McAuliffe on the outside. They're going to carry this in. It looks like the 2 is going to back it down a little bit. But when you're running like that, you enter this corner and a guy on the inside washes up. That's where the catastrophe starts, is that guy dives it down to the inside and loses the nose or loses the rear end and washes up into you. And you have nowhere to go because there's someone to your outside.
We got one in the fence. Looks like in the 30s there. He's able to carry on. Tough break this early in the race to be in the fence. I've been there before, let me tell you. But this place, it's so wide, but the exit of turn 2 comes up much faster than it looks like on your screens right now. It's quite a dangerous place. You can very easily find yourself in the wall.
So 3 wide, a little bit deeper in the field back here with Andy Kurtz, Michael Robinson in 15th, 16th position. Chad Ross, they're fighting it out for the top 15. Still 3 wide as they come off of turn 2. And you can see that spread of trucks. 2 by 2 all the way back to about the 23rd position. But there's the 5 of Kurtz in the middle. He's going to back it up at the 58 behind them. Looks like Justin Branham and Dustin Ryan Stedel. These guys still fighting it out. I mean, early in this run, you have you have that ability that you can get up and draft, but they're going to wear out these tires. Somebody's going to give here, and hopefully they don't give when they're racing for position.
And not
Almost
only
4 wide there out of 2.
This is where the handle starts to go away, and you start to get that pit in your stomach that you made a mistake because you drove too hard for your first 7 laps. Because you look at somebody like the 16 truck at the bottom of your screen here, Nick Gardner. We weren't talking about him at all, and I just watched him pass 4 cars in 1 corner. Right? This is where saving your stuff is really going to help you out.
The battle for the lead does heat back up a little bit. Mayse starting to resurge. He played it smart. He let these guys go up there and take away the lead. Now starting to come back on him. He's on the other side now of this 10-lap run. This is the 10-lap run, the stint that we talk about. Who saved their stuff? This can really allow you to take over and command this lead as we got trucks with contact in the back of the field. Looks like the 93 of Thomas Hall. Brian Kaser in the 07 off the track. These two touch each other down the backstretch. The 07 gets the worst end of it. He falls back to 32nd. We stay green on lap number 8. Coming across for number 9 now. So a little bit of contact, and that was a case of a guy washing up the racetrack. Car on the wall there, and you're
just like the 03
on your screen
right
on the backstretch. Dive to the bottom there for a couple trucks to avoid that. And exactly what Mayse predicted. These guys used up the tires, and now he's pouncing. He goes for the lead on the inside of Lucas Lyons here for the change and taking back what's his.
You said he didn't sound confident in the interview. What I heard out of that was talk to me in 75 laps in victory lane. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
He didn't want to show his hand. Maybe that was just playing the confidence card, trying to remain humble, because you never know what can happen. You know, it's really up to the other guys around you whether or not you're able to perform and execute your strategy, your plan. You can come in here and think about it 100 times over. Tight racing here off of 4. 24 Kaiser, the 2 of Mullahan. Look like the 04 of Christopher McCullough. They almost get into each other, and it's still tight from 4th place back.
This is what Michigan produces, right? It's tight racing at unbelievable speeds. You can't get away from anybody because the draft is so strong. But all these trucks drive like garbage right now. You're loose, you're hanging on, you're just trying to make a little bit better lap time than the guys around you.
I'm interested to see. The 03 has struggled pretty much since lap 8. He's falling back little by little here. That's Kenneth McCullough. Let's go on board here. Let's get a gyro camera and see what he's experiencing in the 03. Watch this run into 1 and 2, and you'll see he doesn't have any air on it, but as soon as he goes in the corner, he's 3 wide to the outside right now. He has to hold this thing down. He's got a little pinch from the 97 of Alex Healy right now, and he just gets touched because it washes up the racetrack, and that's what I was worried about.
Yeah, he was there below the seam where it's really easy to miss the corner. There's not a lot of banking up down there, and I think he's a little tight from hitting the wall. He got a lot of wheel in it right now for lap 12 in Michigan.
It's a good, decent run, though, off of 4. And now we're side by side again for about the 6th position. I think that after this, he's either going to get this pass done or he's going to get washed up again and maybe end up hitting the wall. He does clear the 04. These guys behind him starting to experience that tight condition as well.
Yeah, you can hear his tires right now that he is melting.
Oh,
that right front
73's
tire.
around. Down the front stretch into the pit road. Yellow flag is out. Eric Parks. Looked like he had a little bit of help here coming out of 4. Might be the 58 of Justin Branham that got into him. I don't know if he washed up into the 10 or 56 maybe. Yeah, he washes up the
73
track.
got loose. Yeah, that's tough. Must have been the wood grain.
Yeah, all that ballast on the back and send it around. Nick Gardner actually in the grass there at the bottom of your screen. I don't know what happened to him.
Pretty heavy right front damage on that 16 truck as well.
If he was trying to avoid it and got caught up in something else.
Let's see what
go
happened.
back and look and
let's see what happened to the to him. Oh, that's not far enough. There we go.
He's avoiding this.
Wrecking in front of him. Oh, then the 32 comes down and got him. Yeah.
I think that's damage that's repairable, though.
I think so. That's the tough part about running at the back half of the field is you get caught up in stuff that you have no business being caught up in.
Kyle Mayse leads him down pit road. A few of these guys stay out.
There's a lot of trucks, Bradley.
Few of these drivers do stay out, though. You have Bobby Hall Jr., Alex Healy. They stay out on the racetrack, but Kyle Mayse stays in. He's going to get 4 tires. So these guys just topping off with fuel. Fuel only stops for a few of these drivers. The strategy's already being played, and that's another factor in Michigan is the fuel strategy. Who can save or have the run? Who can pit the least? When you're up front leading this thing, that clean air is a blessing and a curse. You don't save any fuel in the draft. You tend to use the right front a little bit more because your front downforce is there, so you're kind of steering into the wind. And I think right now for Mayse, he's sitting back. He knows he's capable of racing back up there. These guys will have much older tires than he will, but he falls back to 13th position. Now you're in a situation where if guys ahead of you that took fuel only forget that they took fuel only and drive it into 1 and 2 and wash up the track in front of you, you're in a situation now where this could be race ending. So he has to be careful navigating this.
Yeah, that's right, for sure. And you also have to understand that the guys in the front, their trucks probably weren't handling as well as they wanted to be, right? The Hall and all them who stayed out on this run. So if you had a tight car and you put just fuel in it, or stayed out's not that big a deal, but you put just fuel in it, it's going to free it up significantly. You're going to really turn a lot. If you were loose and you put just fuel in it, you are going to be wrecking loose. So that's something that could really come into play here is the balance that they had on their cars, how well they handled their tires previous is going to dictate these next few laps here and how well this restart goes.
Beautiful shot there from our drone camera down on the grass in turns 1 and 2, showing the 97 of Alex Healy, the 94 of Bobby Hall Jr. Looks like Bobby Hall is going to elect to start on the outside. A lot of time goes into these V-Speed cameras. I'm glad that they look as good as they do. I'm watching it here on the virtual cam. Loving what I'm seeing. And the action here for Overtake iRacing League in their first season. It's been good so far. 1 caution here tonight on lap number 14. We're set back to go green for the 2nd time. Lights are out on the pace truck. The 38 of Chad Ross and Dustin Reinstettel will be in the 2nd row. James Kaufman, Lucas Lyons, Sean Kaiser, John Mollahan, Kenneth McAuliffe, and Mikkel Robinson, the top 10. But here we go for the 2nd time. Do we get another caution? Cautions breeding cautions, that's what they do. And here at Michigan, it's amplified. Into the Geico restart zone for the 2nd time today. Green flag is out and we're back live and racing again. The 94 gets a decent start here over Alex Healy. So Bobby Hall Jr., he's going to try to run away with it for as long as he can, but he's got a lot of fresh tires behind him from 13th on back. Look
at the 55 diving into the corner. Did you see that? Look at him go.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do. He's got 4 fresh ones. He's got to use it while he can. All the way down to the apron, touches the Geico restart zone. He's 4 wide down the front stretch. You can see the 24 of Geiser. He backs it way up because that thing is not turning anymore. He's to the inside of Lucas Lyons, a little loose condition, but he has the turn off to get a run 3 wide down the back stretch with the 25 in the middle. James Kaufman stuck there. He backs it up a little bit, now going to dive to the inside in 3. Kaufman washes up the racetrack. All these cars in front of the 55 are very, very tight. And he's going to be 3 wide again down the front stretch. Picks up 4 positions in just a lap. On the move here for the 55. He's going to drive it really deep into 1. And it sticks down there because that's what 4 tires do. Alex Healy washes up in front of the 38. And now the battle for the lead. All over the back bumper of Bobby Hall. I don't think Hall's going to have anything for him as they go into 3. I don't think it matters what line the 55 takes here right now.
No, because he got to his outside, and he is going to be gone off of turn 4. There's cleared. 55 to the lead.
He's got another guy behind him with maybe a 2-tire change. That's the 04. Christopher McCullough. I want to say they both took 4 tires. There's about 14 seconds in the stall here for both these drivers. So 4 tires, that's how much tires matter here at Michigan. We put it in the description for a reason, folks. 10 laps is all she wrote, and then this thing starts to handle ill. And you can see the difference. With 4 fresh tires, they're able to pick up 10+ positions in just 2 laps.
Helps that this track is like 80 feet wide. Lots of space to make moves, and nobody uses the bottom at either end except for the 55 when he's sailing past the field, and the 04 is following him through. But yeah, they have cleared the field by about a second already, and we're only a handful of laps into this run.
So here off of turn 2, the battle for the lead is still hot. Peak to the inside now for the 04. Maybe a change for the lead. I know that there's a lot going on back here deeper in the field, but the battle for the lead still on. The 04 chasing Mayse all the way through that group and stuck right with him. Now a change for the lead as they come out of turn 4. It's going to be neck and neck at the line. The 04 doesn't lead this time by a couple hundredths of a second. Separate the 55 and the 04. Into 1 and 2 now. Another battle. The 04 is going to have to be careful that he doesn't wash up the track and he loses the nose there. And that's going to be all she wrote for at least a couple laps before he can get that momentum back.
Let's go have a look at Bobby Hall. He started on pole. He's still hanging pretty strong here, and was that P6? Not bad for having no tires, staying out on that run. You can definitely tell, though, he's a little tight. You just saw a car in front of him just drive away, entering turn 3.
Speaking of tight, back here in the 8th through 12th position, it's still 3-4 wide. These guys trying to settle it out. Alex Healy falling back to the clutches of this. The 25 of Kaufman, Mullahan, Robinson, all just right on top of each other. They have been since the green flag dropped. I think this top 15, we got a truck loose. That's Kaufman down to the bottom. He gathers it up, but they're 3 wide now down the backstretch. There's the 73 that was involved in the first caution here today, all the way up on the outside line of the 4. He took 4 tires during that pit stop, I guarantee it, and he is starting to make a charge back to the top 10. Currently being scored in 12th spot. Speaking of drivers that are trying to recover, Nick Gardner. He's back in 31st position after that tag with the 32. He's got some ground to make up, but it looks like that damage mostly fixed here.
Yeah, those dents on the right front are not there anymore, so hopefully no suspension damage for the 16, but...
Truck off the track! Another yellow flag. It's James Kaufman and Justin Miller. 25 and the 12. Down to the inside wall. I don't think they hit anything other than each other. Here they come off of turn 2. The Wonder Bread on the inside. And Kaufman was struggling. We saw it just prior to that. What happened here? Oh, he gets up into the 24 caser and just comes across the nose of that Wonder Bread machine of the 12. And wow. Let's go on board with the 12 there, because I don't know how he bounced that wall and didn't take the 25 with him. Watch him hit this inside wall and shoot back out onto the track. And if it happened any earlier than that, I think he double taps the 25.
Oh, that was close.
So, caution number 2 and some ill-handling trucks. I would venture to say everyone's coming down pit road this time. I think they learned their lesson.
I mean, that was a tap on the straightaway that sent that car sideways. So if you're loose on the straightaway, you're struggling, definitely. And that's what looked like it happened to the 25. Unfortunate deal for everyone involved, but yeah, a little bit of a lesson early in this race, about a third of the way through, that tires are going to be paramount here tonight.
And even if you do, you see the 55, these guys taking fuel. So the limited tire sets is kind of the problem here. And you saw the 04 win the battle out of pit road, probably taking, just a 10th or 2 less of fuel. But they have limited sets here, so they have to plan that accordingly. And taking their tires right at the start, sometimes guys regret that decision later on in this race. And now they have to negate it. And that's why you see the top 5 stay with the fuel only. But we'll have to wait and see. Some of these drivers that are up here have been a little bit more conservative with those tires than others.
Yeah, tire saving.
I would venture to say.
Yeah, tire saving was always difficult in these kind of races, because you want to push, you want to lead every lap, you want to go as fast as you possibly can, but that measured aggression is difficult for a lot of people to wrap their head around. And with limited tire sets, you even have to be that much more measured, because you can't burn every setup all the time. You have to save a little bit of something. And sometimes that's taking fuel only and dropping through the field 10, 15 spots because everyone else took 4. You see it in other leagues, and it's I've seen it in lots of races where the strategies flip-flop and then all converge at the end, and that's probably what we're going to have happen here.
And then you amplify that with the caution count. If they continue to breed more cautions here, we're a third of the way through this thing. The laps are ticking away. Guys know that they're not going to have the opportunity to pass and get those track positions back that they might have lost by trying to save those tires sets or trying to back up the corners and keep it on the track. So situational awareness here. If you have a spotter right now, it's a blessing, because you can see the strategies, you can hear everything else that's going on the track, and I guarantee that a lot of these drivers communicating in the pits on Discord, they're working on it right now to try to figure this thing out, because we still have 2/3 of this race left to go. Kyle Mayse and the 04 of Christopher McCullough have, they've been the class of the field so far. I haven't seen anybody that really has contested them overall. And I would venture to say that if this race goes green from here, those 2 trucks will be the ones fighting for the win. We'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully we can get some green flag pit stops in here. That's when we really separate this field. And you'll see some classic Michigan, where the draft wasn't as much of a factor. 5-6 cars break away. Personally, my favorite part of the race, if it happens. Pace truck pulls off, and let's go back green for the 3rd time this evening. Up in the air into the restart zone. The 04 leads him into turn 1. Back live and racing at Michigan. That's one thing you don't want to do. You see the 04 get out to a big jump here as he comes across your screen. The 114 gets to the inside of Mayse. And now you're seeing kind of a reversal here with the tires. Almost everyone from 6th place on back, took 4. And so now you have only 4 drivers that took fuel. Only Christopher McCullough gets passed by the 114. And some of these drivers are going to look insanely fast for at least 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, this is where you got to make hay. If you have 4 tires, you got about 3 laps to go as hard as you want without hurting anything too bad. But then after that, you got to back it down and save your stuff because you never know how long this run's going to go for.
3 wide back here for about the 8th position. Kyle Mayse stuck there in the middle for a second on the outside, actually, and the 56 is going to get by. How many positions does Mayse give up trying to save and nurse these tires to even out? Losing more here, almost 4 wide out of 4. He's stuck up there on the outside, and that is saving it a little bit, but he's going to have to work even harder for every truck that passes him. That's even more wear on these tires, and he has to stay out of the trouble because you've got a mixture of different lines at different speeds. Almost 4 wide here as they go through 1 and 2. The 4 washes up into the wall and takes Mayse with him.
They're wrecking back there.
And they're wrecking back there with the 08.
Who is not the 08 in the session here.
No, it's definitely not. We got the 54 of Todd Mayse also involved. Looks like Wes Wiegand down to the inside wall. I think we go with the 88 here. It was an Oregon Ducks truck, I know that. Daniel Cunningham, who starts that off, and 4 or 5 trucks involved initially, and then 6 or 7. Oh, big hit there. The 28 almost involved again.
Yeah, I think the start of this was the 73. Let's go have a look at that again.
I know Oregon Ducks truck there on the inside. Those 2 get tangled up, whatever the case may have been, but they come back across the track and take probably 4 or 5 others with them.
Yeah.
Everybody dives to the inside. Look at the right on board with the 25. That's probably the best shot we're going to have here on the nose camera. Riding on board here with the 25 of Kaufman, who's had some handling issues, but he picks up probably 10 spots here, all within a straightaway. Here we go.
Sometimes the seas just part.
Yeah, and you see how many trucks get involved in that by the gap in front of the 25. That is just 4 seconds worth of trucks that just disappeared in front of Kaufman. Now you look at the strategy again, the 38, the 114, they stay out. They made their bed, they have to lay in it. Kyle Mayse comes down, looks like he tops off with fuel. A couple other drivers come down pit road. They're still in the stall. Christopher McCullough is saying, I'm taking 4. He falls back to 22nd position. I think we're brewing up another caution here.
It's difficult when you have a lot of drivers on different tire strategies, right? You got a lot with no tires, a lot with 4 tires. Comers and goers throughout the field and closing rates that are faster than people realize will always cause issues and always cause incidents. And it's difficult to be able to manage your way through the field and also gracefully fall back through the field. That's a difficult skill no one ever talks about, is putting yourself in a spot to not get run over from behind and still make lap time.
Lights are still on the pace truck. We're going to take a quick commercial break here live on V-Speed. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series. We'll be back right after this.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin there cannot 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Dweck.
A punch from the 33. Two
It's a
in
drag
row.
race.
The Magic Man wins in Auto Club.
There isn't a one-size-fits-all for almost anything in life. So don't settle for a one-size-fits-all setup. Eliminate the frustration in building with an AI-powered personalized toolkit to boost you forward to victory. Optimize your setup and improve your performance over those cookie-cutter builds used by the rest of the pack. Vantage is iRacing.com's first AI setup builder. Save your time and give back to your personal life. Vantage takes any setup for any track and adjusts it specifically to your needs. Choose from over 100 cars for any paved circuit. A custom-tailored experience that's easy. Back here live at Michigan, getting set to go back green. The 38 of Chad Ross takes over point, and it's going to be 4 fresh tires deep in the field, trying to race back up here to the front. Side by side, and a big jump there for the 38 into 1. A lot of guys that haven't been up towards the front tonight here. The 114, a familiar name. The 94, who was up there earlier, but they're going to take it 3 wide into 3 and 4. The 114 washes up. He's barely clear. He's going to lead this time by, but the 94 has the run as they come across the line.
A good heads-up driving by the 38 to not drive through the 114. That could have been a big wreck from the lead.
And a pinch down there by Bobby Hall on the 114. Travis Bieber, who led that last time by, doesn't have the preferred line going into 1 and 2. The 38 on the outside now. They're side by side all the way down the backstretch. You're going to probably see 4 tires start to surge up here within the next 4 or 5 laps. But right now, these guys know that they have the opportunity to run away for a little bit. And side-by-side racing is going to keep them in check, though. That's what the guys deep in this field, like the 04 McCullough and the 55 of Mayse, that's what they need. They need these leaders to get up here and get racy so they can catch back up.
Oh, that was close for the lead. They're still wrecking. Oh,
they're still door banging.
There goes
and
the
114 off the racetrack. We're going to stay green.
Just a kick.
But unfortunately, nope. He did bring out the yellow.
He did. Let's go back and have a look at that. We saw it live, but let's have a look at it again anyway.
I bet that drone camera would look at a beautiful shot of that. They door bang here once.
Drives it in deep. 94 is loose. They touch again. 48 finishes him off and locks it down, and just barely right there catches the wall of the left front. I don't think that damage should be too bad. I don't even know if that's if it's crumpled, actually. Let's have a look at the nose cam here. See. No, hood's still attached. I think we're good on the 114.
Unfortunate, though. He just lost 20-plus positions there after that spin. Now, they made contact initially, which upset the truck on the outside.
Right. The 94, right?
Yeah, I think that was Alex Healy. And so, not intentional on his part to come back and double tap on the 114. But once you've lost that ability to control on the exit, it's really just a matter of what can I hit or what can I do to get this thing back underneath me. And the first thing that happened, he got into the door of the 114 again.
Yeah, I mean, when the 114 came up the track and got into the 94, sent the 94 straight towards the wall, 94's got to put all the wheel in it to keep it from, knocking down the fence. And eventually you get that push loose sensation where it doesn't turn. All of a sudden it turns all at once. Comes back down the track into the 114, and we saw what happened from there. Just some more door contact, and around goes the 114. It happens. That's the issue with running Michigan in down to turn 1 is that first seam right at the bottom is there's nothing there. There's no banking. It's not until you get where the 48 is right now that there's actually banking in the track. So you try and dive down there thinking you're Superman, you wash back up and you become mortal pretty quick.
Progressive banking does that, and there's a couple other tracks that come to mind. Auto Club, Homestead, where the track feels really great on the entry, but as soon as you find that apex, the truck either turns or it doesn't, and we've seen that product here today. The tire strategies, the cautions, not helping that by any means, but we're 38 laps into this race. 4 cautions, 13 lead changes. It's been competitive, but we've had a lot of comers and goers with the different tire sets, and we had Bobby Hall Jr. back down pit road. He takes and repairs a little bit of damage. Ron Morrison Jr., Kyle Mayse, all the way back to 28th. That's your pole sitter. The 114 of Travis Bieber, who got a little bit of damage repaired. Wes Wiegand, who had some damage from an earlier incident. So we've got a few drivers that are still on the outside looking in. Some guys that need to perform here tonight because they didn't have a good race at Atlanta.
Yeah, and this is going to be difficult. Honestly, at this point in time, Bradley, I have no idea who is going to run well in this race. We've seen, I feel like, every truck lead in this race tonight. Comers and goers, from the back to the front to the back, you name it. I have no idea who's actually good here tonight and who's struggling. It's a bunch of short runs back to back to back, and tire strategy is just all over the map.
Yes, I think it's going to be a matter of who saved that last set of tires for the end of this thing, and can they get a green flag run long enough to get back up to the front. You see Mace that's all the way back on your scoring. Earlier was back in 15th position, then went even deeper in the field now in 28th. And with every pit stop that happens, whether he's getting tires or repairing damage, you just put yourself deeper and deeper in this field. Eventually, you're going to have to decide, do I stay out just for track position? Because passing all these trucks, even if you have 4 tires, it's not going to much matter if you have to pass 20 trucks because it's going to even out before you make it to the top 5.
Yeah, like we said earlier in the broadcast, you only get about 3 laps to do what you want to do before the tires will start to get angry. And you're probably not passing 30 cars in 3 laps. If you did, that's impressive. I've never seen that done without a big caution. But, yeah, we'll see. This is going to be an interesting battle of the finish here. 35 laps to go.
So trying to go back green for the 5th time tonight. 38 and the 48 on the front row. Green flag is out. We're back underway at Michigan. And a side-by-side restart into 1. Lyons gets a good jump, though. Tell you what, these guys back here in 15th, 16th position already, picking up right where they left off with 3 wide out of 2. Turbulence down the backstretch. Lots of movement. Guys with 4 fresh tires trying to go up the middle. There's Alex Healy in the 97 going 3 wide. This is just behind the lead. There's a few drivers with fresh tires that maybe could get up here. You've got Christopher McCullough in the 04. He's about 14th position. He has a chance to get up here to the lead, but they're running out of time. We're past the halfway point, so if you have a volume knob on your smart device, you should find it right now. Let's take it down close and trackside, get up close and personal with these V8 engines, and turn it up here on V-Speed for a couple laps. So Lyons is going to lead another time by, but look at the 4 wide down the front straight away. It looks like Healy, the 4 on the bottom of Michael Robinson, Stephen Page, just chaos into one here. They door touch with the 4 and the 3.
That 4 car is in a pretty tough spot right now. Lost a bunch of ground. At least they're able to keep it in the right direction. That's the good news. Live to fight on their lap.
And he's got those fresh tires. He's trying to work his way through this field, but he's in a 200-mile-per-hour traffic jam, and these guys are not cutting him any slack. They know that he's faster. The 94 washes up the track into the outside wall. Bobby Hall takes it into the outside wall. We stay green, though. They're still trying to wreck it, but we're going to stay green, and it looks like he's going to pull it down pit road. He brings out a yellow. 04 off the racetrack. McAuliffe. That brings out the yellow. So that is actually what brings out the yellow. We had the 94 who hits the outside wall, so we got a little bit to unpack here. So he brings it down pit road. But I think officially what brings out this caution here is this hit right here to the wall, but it's going to be on up ahead in the 04. As they go into 1, something happens with him. Right there.
Big issue there. Looks like just misjudged corner entry a little bit, and yeah, that's tough. Let's go back and watch that. Go back a few seconds here.
I'm not sure who that was that he got into.
It's like the 66, and then the 03. That's a tough break for those guys.
Did we get a on board there with the 03? He's just an innocent bystander. He has no idea that this is going to happen.
It's not what you want to see. Let's see. Technical difficulties. There we go.
That timer's deceitful. So here we go into 1 and 2. This is where it's going to happen. The 03 up on the outside, and just no idea that it even, he's hearing spotter inside, and he locks it down, thankfully. But back to a live shot now. We've got everyone coming down pit road. I think we're about to see some strategy. 48 leads them in. I think we're about to see a lot of 4-tire stops. Maybe the last one of the day for most of these guys. They might have used them all up. There's the 6 coming out early. He does a fuel-only stop. I don't think that's going to work out well. Everybody else takes 4 tires.
It's really tough to tell if how this race is going to play out. A lot of the times, if you have a race like this where you have a lot of cautions right in a row, you just need something to go right, and then all of a sudden you have a nice 30-lap run to the finish, and we very well could be shaping up for that right now. A little worrisome on the tire strategy because you never know when is your last opportunity to take tires. You don't want to take them too soon, but you definitely don't want to not take them. It's a tricky, strategy to figure out.
Yeah, it's sitting here with 25 to go. I think you just take them here. I don't, even if there is another caution, I don't think it's a good idea to not take him. You see the 4, he stays out entirely. Kyle Mayse back up here to the front, but he stays out. So he's got 9 laps on these tires. You got Michael Cole in the 67 beside him. I don't know. I really don't. Mayse takes tires right off the bat. A lot of these guys don't. Then we get another caution, so that's negated. Then he falls back to 28th. He stayed out of trouble. And the guy that was contesting him, the 04 of Christopher McCullough, he's still lurking back there in the 5th spot. So 4 tires for pretty much everyone from 6th place or 7th place on back. It's going to be a tall order. Because now, even if we do get another caution, you got to think, they come down and get that last set of tires that they left in the pits. They have to pass. They're right back where they started. They're passing 20-plus trucks. And
yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too in this situation. You're either going to have fresh tires and be deep in the field, or you're going to have worn tires and be in the front. You can't. It's going to be difficult to get on the same strategy as everybody else until we're all out of tires. And then, obviously, it's all equaled out. But I don't expect we'll get there at this rate.
well, they made their bed. They're going to lay in it. The 55 is going to restart here on the inside of Michael Robinson, who's going to lead them into turn 1. And we'll see. I think with the tires and the comers and goers, I think it's a little more even this time with less drivers staying out. Maybe we can go green here till the end. Just over 25 to go as they take the restart. And the 4-car hits the loud pedal. We're back live and racing at Michigan. A little bit of tire spin for some of the guys in the back. And already the 55 losing positions. There's Lyons on the outside as they go out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. The 5 now, on I believe that's the 5. No, that's the 9 of Barrett Morton up on the outside. He's going to go by almost 3 wide for the lead and the 2 in the middle. Remember, he's one of the guys that just got fuel only, but Lyons prevails and takes over point as they come across the line to lead another lap. Still up on the outside for Lyons. The 2 of Morton, or Mollahan rather, he's trying to hold on here. He's got Mayse all over the back bumper as they bump draft into 3 and 4. Bring those names up on your screen and you see the positions that have changed all night long. Kurtz up into the top 5, or top 10 rather. Ross has been in and out of it. Mayse has struggled here today. The strategies just haven't worked out for him. He needs a green flag run for these tires to even out if he wants to even think about winning this race.
Yeah, it's every now and then you have those days where the strategy, just the cautions come at the absolute worst times. And the 55 is absolutely having one of those days today.
You see him dive down to the inside, have a little bit of bump drafting help, and the 38 washes down the racetrack. They're 4 wide coming out, and the 2 is going to go into the 24.
Ooh,
they
what a
save
save.
it. They keep it together.
Wow.
Keeps it out of the grass, but the 2 comes down across that nose, and they're still 3 wide going into 1 and 2. He's fallen quickly, and I saw that happening. I knew staying with the fuel strategy, this whatever handling characteristic your truck has, you just multiplied it in a big hit. That's the 24. So he'd already got hit, and then something else happens on the backstretch.
I can tell you right now, that is not good for it. Just had the incredible save off of turn 4. Comes down here, doesn't realize that they're 3 wide, and just gets right hooked into the fence. Nothing anyone that could do there. Just nose it into the wall, and that is not what the front end's supposed to look like. Who was that outside of him? You see that? Was it the 7? 07?
I think it was the 07. It's an all-black truck.
Yep,
I think it's
there.
Ryan Kaiser. It's
There we
actually
go.
relation to the 24, Sean Kaiser. Hopefully they're not in the same living room together. Because one's going to say, what were you thinking? The other one's going to ask, well, I thought, I could stay down there. And then it's going to turn into Mom Loves Me More.
Yeah, it's a tough deal.
So
He didn't realize they were 3 wide, and obviously we're right hooked into the wall. And Tough break for the 24.
So any takers? Do you think anybody comes down? I mean,
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say all of them.
yeah, I guess all of them. Another opportunity. Seize the day. Carpe diem here with the tires, and in Michigan, they're so important.
And any
Who's
one of these
saved?
could be the pay window. Any one of them at this
Yep.
point. We're only 20 laps away from the. Once we go back racing, we could go 20 laps green easy. But will we? I don't know. It's a tough question.
Well, look who has 4 tires there, that 55. If he can get down and away, he's going to get a little deep in the field here. But he is down and away. He's going to be about mid-pack. I'd say about 16th, 17th position. Looking at my timing and scoring it, it's currently got him in 11th, but I don't think that's going to be accurate. I think we need to cycle through here one time across the line so I can get a good idea where he's going to restart. But just about mid-pack here for the 55, and if we go green, he saved that last set of tires. This could look like a genius strategy for Mayse, but it's going to be a tall order. You've got a flip-flop of the field here, some guys that stayed out. You got Nick Gardner that's up here in the top 10. He struggled all night long. You got Stephen Page in the 56, Dustin Reinstedel. There's quite a few names up here that could make it tough for Mayse to get back to the lead in time because they're going to be really difficult to pass. We're running out of time, and these guys are going to make their truck 3 lanes wide to try to hold off for track position.
Yeah, every restart we have, the anticipation just goes up a little bit higher, and the aggression goes up a little bit higher, and you end up doing things you wouldn't have done 50 laps ago. Because we're getting so close to the end that wild things happen at the end of these races. They always do.
Yep, that anticipation, that aggression starts to go up. Guess what it breeds? More cautions. So it only amplifies it. That's what Michigan's also known for. We have a variety of racing. It can go either way, but kind of the pre-race forecast here after lap 20 was we were going to have caution after caution here dictating the tire strategies, and that has carried on pretty much since caution 1 on lap 13. We've seen some guys that have the chance to run away with this race end up deep in the field. We've had guys that were deep in the field have a chance to run away with the race. So where do we meet in the middle here? Is this where we go green, or do we see another big wreck?
That's hard to say, but eventually it'll all converge together, and eventually we'll all be on a similar strategy, or at the very least, we'll have a long enough run that we can kind of separate each other. It's going to be difficult, obviously, to see what happens here and who's going to do what, but this has been quite a race so far, I'll tell you that much.
48 of Lyons, the 97 of Healy. Healy going to elect to start on the outside in the number 97. The 5 of Kurtz. Barrett Morton in the 9, going to be row number 2. Let's see if they can run it. Green flag here to the end. Barney's got the green flag up in the air into the Geico restart zone, and let's drive for another 40 miles at Michigan. Not a good restart for the 48. Lyons spins the tires big time. Starting to pull away. He has a little bit of a gap, a nice cushion there behind him with Lyons spinning those tires. He held up that entire inside row. And now the 9, the 5, trying to figure out a way around him. Now a challenge for the lead, though. He's got the momentum back, touches the apron, washes up the racetrack. The 97 of Healy is going to have a good run here coming off of 4. Across the line here, it's going to be Healy to lead that lap. Getting a push by the 9 of Morton now. The 48, they're 3 wide almost going into 1. Kurtz is going to try his luck 3 wide. Up through the middle for Kurtz. In a tight window, the 9 loses the nose and slides down the racetrack. 56 now on the bumper. Here comes Mayse with the 4 tires. All the way down to the inside in 3 and 4. 3 wide behind him. Can they make it through? 18 laps to go as they cross the line. About 2 laps left before Mayse starts to feel those tires. He's doing what he can to get to the inside of these leaders. He's going to get a good run here off of 2 to the inside of Morton and take him 3 wide down the backstretch.
What do you think? Slide job time right here? What do you think?
I think you dive it down deep and hold it to the floor. Pray it sticks. It looks like that's what he's going to do. And slide up the track a little bit here for the 55. Now to the inside of Lyons for the lead. And a little block there from the 48. That's going to break up that run a little bit for Mayse. He's going to have to dive it really down. They're using up his tires, and that's what I was worried about for Mayse. And he's getting pinched now. Has to save it, and he loses all that ground. He's going to go back 3 wide with Healy in the 38 in the middle.
55 has got to get up in the middle or high lanes within the next corner or 2, or those 4 fresh tires are worth absolutely nothing. He's pinched down to the bottom right now, bottom of 3 wide. It's going to be an issue to get back up there. We'll see.
Yeah, he's on that side of the tires now, not wanting to stay down there. As you see on, bring the ticker back up on your screen, he's fallen back to about 7th position. And he's still struggling. He's trying to keep it off these guys, but they're not giving him any room. They know that he has 4 fresh tires, and they got to do everything they can to keep him back there. Now it's starting to resurge, though. He's starting to get up to the middle here. He's got a hole. Little touch there. That's going to be a position through the grass.
Save it. Looks like he saved it.
I don't think he did. I think he's going to... Ooh, man.
Oh.
He came back across that track.
Oh, that was something. He saved it, though. Great drive in 38.
But they're still not done. The 55 now has the opportunity to race side by side with just a single line. Does he have enough time, though, before the next caution? These guys back here in 10th back, still running 3 wide. Dives it down deep into 3 and 4.
All
the 48
got
knows
loose.
He has to pinch him here, but he pinches a
clear
little
him.
too much. He gets loose.
He cleared him.
Back to the lead here for the 55. That's what he needed to do, and he saved the tires at just the right time. They get really tight here in the entrance at 1. Morton all over the back bumper of the 48.
Crossover. Gonna get loose on the exit. Be careful here. Made it stick. Wow.
And a door touch down the backstretch. Mayse tries to break the momentum of the 48. He has the high line, but the 48 takes it out even wide on the entry. He slides down, and now Morton up on the back bumper. 3 wide for the lead as they come out of 4. Morton's going to lead this time by.
Here comes the 5.
And Andy Kurtz now starting to resurge. These tires have evened out. The 55 knows that he has to just save his stuff a little bit longer here. They're 3 wide, washing up the track. The 4 car into the wall. Across the nose, the 16 of Gardner's into the wall.
Ooh, big hit.
The 1 takes him with him. And that'll bring out another yellow.
It's like 1 got into the 4 a little bit, I think. A 4 just got loose.
They were all washing up the track here. The 4 went up into the wall, and the 1 just didn't have anywhere to go after that happened.
Yeah, the 1 turned down across the track to avoid the 4 and just came across the 16's nose, and yeah, they're both in the fence. Tough break for both those guys. Gardner has been in the wrong place, the wrong time, multiple times tonight. But that's just the way racing goes sometimes.
And this has been a rough one here. If you're Nick Gardner, or, you know, we've seen the 1 caught up in a few things. We've seen the 04, the 4.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of guys that were fast that could be up here in this top 5.
Yeah, not many cars, trucks that haven't been involved in something tonight. There's been a lot of incidents and a lot of carnage. But we soldier on.
So Kyle Mayse did exactly what he needed to do, and I don't know that there's anybody else in this field that has any tires left. We're going to find out. As you see the entire field come down pit road. Do they have something here? The 9 of Morton's going to lead them in. Let's keep a close eye on the 9, the 48. See if the jack goes up on the 9. It does. Kyle Mayse might be in a bad spot here. Oh, missed the stall there for the 48 truck. He's going to lose some of that ground. Mayse has his work cut out for him here. Well, the good news is for the 55, he's got about 7 or 8 trucks that stayed out with him. You got Stephen Page, Travis Beaver, Ron Morris Jr., Justin Branham. Looks like Chad Ross also staying out. Matthew Fleming, Brian Kaiser. Have to go all the way back here to...
It's like Fresh Tires starting P10 with Barrett Morton, the 9 truck. I don't think anyone in front of them have fresh tires. So you have to pass 9 cars in 10 laps. If you're, or 9 cars in 9 laps actually, if you're gonna win this race, if you got fresh tires. Doable,
well, that's,
certainly,
you know,
but easy.
Another
definitely
caution.
Not.
Another caution could completely negate that too. You know, you say we have 9 laps, but if you're under yellow, you can't pass anyone, right? So
it's true. It's true.
It's gonna be a shootout. I know that. These guys have. I mean, the cautions breeding cautions. It's not entirely. You know, we can't stress enough how difficult it is, especially when you got 4 fresh ones, and some of the guys in front of you have been out there for 14 laps. How hard and difficult it is to not get into the back of them. They have to lift so much sooner. They wash up the track. They tag the wall, which is what we just saw there with the 1 trying to avoid the 4. It's hard to say that you can blame any one talent or any one driver for these cautions, because there's just so many factors that go into that. And you're just weathering the storm.
That's right. You don't know the balance of the trucks you're racing around either. If they're loose and you pinch them down, they're just going to spin. If they're tight and you pinch them down, they're going to wash up into your door and you're going to spin. You really take it into your own hands when you start racing these guys hard and you start trying to pinch guys off the corners to maintain your position or gain a position. Yeah, but no fault of anyone. Just that's racing. That's how you race Michigan.
With a fixed setup, not able to make any adjustments. A lot of these guys just have to struggle with the handling if they're not liking it and nurse it back to health. But here we go with less than 10 to go. Kyle Mayse and the 114 of Travis Beaver going to lead him into turn 1. And it's going to be about 9 trucks back to the 9 of Morton. Green flag is out. We're back underway for the shootout at Michigan. Already into turn 1, 3 wide with the 5 on the inside. We cut to the TV camera. The 26 is stuck in the middle. You can see those fresh tires already trying to surge to the front. Morton stuck on the inside there in the middle. He's 4 wide down the backstretch. He's able to make quick work of those 4 trucks and now has another 3 wide battle in front of him. There's the 5 of Kurtz, who's also on fresh tires. He had a better restart. He's trying to surge to the front. Morton kind of sitting in the same boat that Mayse was sitting in just a moment ago. These guys up front are not challenging for the lead yet. They're challenging for second, but they're not pushing for the lead. They're kind of 3 wide in front of these guys with fresh tires. Very loose, whoever that was on the outside. Great save. But into turns 3 and 4, you're trying to watch the 9 of Morton. race his way up here to the front. Can he catch up in time? Kurtz now to the
5
inside.
passing for the lead.
Kurt's going to take over the point. They're going to door touch across the line. Mayse leads that time by and breaks the momentum of Kurtz, but I don't think it's going to be enough. A 10-lap difference on tires here for the 55, and he just has to concede that position. And look at all these trucks getting loose off the exit of 2. Everyone nursing that wall, giving him a good cushion. Now Morton 3 wide for third.
If you're the 9, you got to drive it deep. You got to clear these cars. You got to get by that 55 this next corner if you're going to have anything for this 5 truck.
And the yellow flag is out. Looks like maybe the 25 and the 28. James Kaufman in the 12 of Justin Miller, who scored as the 12 on iRacing, and Kaufman's caught up in another one.
Not a
It's
good
been
night
kind of
for
the
the
same
25.
two guys here.
Yeah, not a good night for
No.
the 25 tonight. Oh, he just gets loose, catches
Oh,
Gardner.
Nick Gardner, too.
Naturally. And then 25's in it. Yeah, just a bunch of guys who just cannot seem to avoid an incident tonight. That's a tough break for the 3 of them. Well, you said it was a shootout last time. Now, we got
it's a
something
shootout.
entirely different. Yeah,
Green-
what are we gonna do
green
here?
white checkered, essentially. If you're Mayse, man, you're done. If he doesn't have tires, he's not going to come down pit road. I don't think that anybody here in this field has any tires, so yeah, our top 15 positions probably have been dictated to stay out, and it looks like the entire field. There's a few trucks that do come down, but most of them are with damage. You got the 07, the 1, the 26, and 16 Nick Gardner. Heavy damage on the front end of that machine. That truck's done for the night. Sean Kaiser out for the race. Bobby Hall Jr. 27 laps down. There's quite a few trucks that have just not found the way to stay out of stuff tonight, and you're seeing all of them on pit road right now.
Let's play the hypothetical game, Bradley. If you are the 9 truck, what do you do to win this race?
Past the 55, that's the ticket right there, because he's going to be very defensive. He's going to pinch you down into the corners, and unfortunately, Kurtz is not going to care. He's going to watch that in his mirror. It has to happen on this restart. The 9 has to get a good run into 1 and 2. That's the only way he gets a chance to pass Kurtz, is a short amount of time, and these guys are pretty even. You got, at least he has the advantage that he'll start in the same lane unless Kurtz decides that he wants to start on the outside, which could be a possibility here. If I was the 5, that's what I would do, because I know that the 55 has older tires. There's a good chance he could spin them and hold up that inside line, and I could run away with it.
Agree.
That's
As
my
well,
hypothetical.
If you're the 9 and you start in the same lane as the 5, you can go before the 5 and push them to the restart zone. And then you already have the momentum. As the 5's getting up to speed, you can dive it down and pass the start finish lining 3 wide to turn 1. And now it's up to you if the truck sticks or not. So I'd be surprised. It looks like the 5 is going to take the bottom here. We'll see if that works out for him.
Yeah, even if he gets a good jump, the 9 can go with him. And
That's right.
That's, to me, I would rather be on the outside relying on the 55 to get it going. Put it
And
in
the
his
outside
hands.
is jumped better than the inside. Pretty much every restart tonight, the leader usually takes the top because they can roll the top of 1 and 2 and get a good launch off of turn 2. But this is going to be an interesting restart, to say the least, and hopefully they'll bring it back in one piece.
Oh, we're not done. We're not done.
Oh,
They've
you
been
have little
crazy from
faith.
10th place back all night. There's no way we're done. I think we get a green-white checker here. For all of those that are watching here tonight on V-Speed, hope you guys are enjoying the action. I know it's been a little bit caution-plagued here tonight, but it is great action here for the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series, race number 2 at Michigan. If you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications, you'll never miss a single race, and we'll be back live here tonight, or tomorrow night, for the Xfinity and the Overtake iRacing League, and then Wednesday. This all happening at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But it's going to be Kurtz and Kyle Mayse on the front row, getting ready to restart here. Green flag is out, and we're back underway.
There you go. The 9 went first. That's exactly what he had to do. They got a big run in turn 1 here.
Yep, that's going to maybe put the nail in the coffin here as we go back green. The 9 all over the back bumper of Kurtz. 3 to go, a natural green-white checker almost. Just that extra lap there. They fall in line, and the 55 of Mayse falls back to 6th position. He has the 10 on the inside now of Jeremiah Hobbs, who could get a top 3. Don't count out that 48 truck. He's been fast all night as well. He dives it down to the inside of Morton. 2 to go now for the 5 of Kurtz. Another lap led, and they're side by side in his mirror. That's what he wants to see, but he has to pinch down this line for the 48. Takes him all the way down to the apron. Now look at the 10. Hobbs getting a good run.
Big rack,
And
114.
114 into the outside wall. And that's going to bring out another caution. We're green-white checker.
Yeah, tough night for the 114 as well. There have been a good number of trucks that just cannot find their way out of trouble, and unfortunately, he's one of them. The 55 gets pushed out of line, and then the 114's in the middle.
Wide.
Yeah, and then he just doesn't realize. I don't know if the 97 realized the 114 was there. 114 came down a little bit. Not exactly sure how that went, but the 114 ends up around and the inside wall, and yeah, the rest is history. Let's have another look at it.
Yeah, it looked like the 97 only washed up because the 114 got into his door.
Right.
Maybe came down a little bit too much on the exit, but he was also going to be really pinched here on this exit because of the 55.
He's tight right there, and I think the 97 is too, and just not enough room. And then bang, bang, bang.
Everybody, yep.
And wall. Yeah, just.
Yeah, you feel like a box of Legos going down the steps at that point.
I'd say that description is
Just gonna
apt.
hit everything.
Yeah.
Just gonna hit everything on the way down.
Yeah, and not a good sound for that engine right now either.
I know what that sounds like. I have a 6-year-old.
The Lego or the engine?
Both. So Kurtz holds on for another couple laps. He has the 48 now, and that was a factor that we didn't play into our hypotheticals. We were worried about the 9, but he falls out of the picture a little bit here as the 48 gets by on the inside. We saw a challenge there side by side for just a moment before that caution, and Lucas Lyons has been quick all night. He has the potential here on this green-white checker, and you might see the 5 take the outside this time, I would think, to get the 9 racing side by side. The 5 really needs to consider that outside line being in his favor here.
I would think so. I think this win's coming from your first 2 rows. Whoever gets the best restart, and if you're in that second row, you got to go 3 wide somewhere. Whether it's the bottom if you're on the inside or the top on the outside, you have to make it out of turn 2 at least on the door of the leader, or else you're probably not going to be able to win this race.
And I'm seeing some notes here from the track stewards. They're posting to everyone here right now, letting them know that there's yellows claimed here tonight, illegal lane changes, on point here for Joseph Penn in race control. We appreciate him being up in the booth. I know a few of these drivers probably irritated with it, but hey, it's a job that needs to be done. And so excellent job here by all the track stewards. Shout out to them. Shout out to Alex Healy and everybody that makes this possible. And another name that comes to mind, and for whatever reason I'm drawing a blank right now, but that would be Dave Farmer, the other handler here at Overtake iRacing League. they've had their job cut out. Like, a lot of work to be done here tonight with the caution count.
Yeah, not the cleanest race. Not anything like the Atlanta race actually last week. That was a really clean show. This one, obviously, not quite. A little more yellow filled, but you know, these races happen, and I'm sure they'll get it tuned up for next week.
So side by side, back for the restart. First green-white checker. We're gonna have 3 attempts at it tonight. This race into overtime here at Michigan. It's going to be Andy Kurtz on the front row with Lucas Lyons, Barrett Morton, Jeremiah Hobbs, and I think Hobbs kind of a sleeper agent here. He's been running pretty consistent lap times late in this race. He has an opportunity here on the outside if the 48 gets going to maybe take a couple positions and get a podium here. I don't know that he has anything for Lyons, but he definitely has something for the 9.
If you're the leader here, do you want that 9 car on your back bumper to push you? Or do you want to just go
I'm jumping out as far as I can. I'm
Okay.
going to jump out as far as I can and pray those guys get the racing, but I don't know. It might be too little too late. The 5 elects to start on the inside again, so let's find out if it was a good move. Restart zone, tire spin, nobody, and we're restarted back green at Michigan. Green-white checker.
Huge jump for the 5. That's exactly what he needed.
He's going to have to carry that, though, because they're going to get the racing behind him, and if that 9 clears the 48, and he does, he's going to have a challenger into 3 and 4. All over the back bumper of the 9 is the 48. He wiggles him out of 2. Somehow Hobbs ends up stuck behind the 2, and the 48 across the nose of the 2. He's down to the inside wall. Will they make it back to the white flag? The 48 might come back up on track.
Oh, big wreck. Oh, man. Caution's out. I don't think they made it. 48's barrel rolling. That's not a good sign. Let's have a look at that. Replay button going to work out tonight.
48 truck total.
Yeah. So he got clipped from the 2, the 6. And then down through the grass. He's got him locked up. Can't save it. And boom, 25 truck again. 07 again. Just, man, those guys need to find the horseshoe for sure. This is
they
rough.
need a rabbit's foot.
Yeah,
He was just there. That was all that was. He was just there.
And there's nothing you can do when there's a car sliding across the racetrack in front of you right in your lap. I mean, what do you do from that? It's just, you know, the worst luck.
If we could back it up again, you probably have to go a full 60 seconds, but on board with the 48, you want to hear what it sounds like to be in panic mode. Well, that's part of it there. That's definitely panic mode. But here's down the back straightaway. Listen to the RPMs. I think he pushed in the clutch.
Yeah, truck was definitely off there.
That was the wrong pedal.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on the brakes and they're locked up, you can't turn, so all you're going to do is slide straight up the track, and then once he got there, he was stopped. So, yeah, not to critique, obviously, he, like you said, he was in panic mode, and I would have been too, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably need a little bit more throttle, keep that thing sliding through the grass, and hope to catch the apron, and they catch that banking and drive it up off, maybe onto pit road or something like that. But again, when you're sliding through the grass at 160 miles an hour, you do your best, and you don't think about it afterwards. You just do it.
It's imagining losing control on an icy road is essentially what was happening there to the 48, and unfortunately ends up on pit road here. So the 5 of Kurtz able to keep that in his mirror, and now has to contest with the 9 of Morton. John Mollahan, Stephen Page, and Hobbs there on that restart. He got put into a weird spot down the backstretch. He had two trucks just get around him for whatever reason. He didn't get it going. And he has fresher tires than Stephen Page, but somehow the 56 got around him.
I think part of that was the that incident with the 48 and probably a bit of a checkup from the 10. I think the 10 was right behind the 48 at that point. So they drove down in the 1. That caution didn't come out until the leaders were coming out of turn 4. So a little bit of space there that you could get your standings jumbled up just by some people lifting, some people driving a little bit harder. It's hard to tell.
I noticed though that on that outside line, they got going a lot better than the inside. And even though the 5 got that jump, everybody on the inside, outside of the 5, just kind of lagged back a little bit. And as they came out of 2, there was a good run on the outside. Quite a few guys that probably have 10, 12 lap older tires, but that outside line just so much faster down the straightaways. Would it have stayed the same? I don't think, maybe into the corner after corner entry, but you know, we never got to see that. We saw the 48 just fly across the nose of somebody, and unfortunately bringing out another caution here tonight.
Yeah, tough break for the 48. Very much had a chance to win this race. You know, was maybe 2 or 3 corners away from taking the lead away from the 5, but we'll never know now because he's I don't know if he's on the hook or if he's just the back of the field, but I mean, that truck was barrel rolling down turn 3 and 4, so I can't imagine it's got too much speed left in it.
There we go, set up for our second green-white checker of the night. The 5 electing to finally start on the outside. He must be watching the broadcast. He heard us critiquing it. Now he's going to try it. Green flag is out. We're back underway for the second to last opportunity.
Another great launch by the 5 truck out of the restart zone. Is going to clear the 9 by, what, 3 car lengths?
That's what he needed to do.
Exactly.
That's what he needed to do. Now he can drive into 1 and run his own line. He's going to get a good one here because they're fighting back there 3 wide. The 10 of Hobbs back down to the bottom. He's inside of the 6 of Mollahan.
10's got to send
Good
it here
run
on
down
the
the
bottom.
backstretch. You have to. White flag as they come out of turn 4. 3 wide for the lead. The 5 washes up, takes the 2 all the way to the outside wall. Now Morton to the inside. They're going to door touch across the line. Almost 4 wide for the lead. Hobbs pushing the 9 down the front stretch. White flag in the air. It's official now. They have to make it back around. The 5 of Kurtz loses the lead. The 9 of Morton takes it over. Now Hobbs to the bottom. Can he make it stick? They're 3 wide as they come out of turn 2. Drag racing down the backstretch. The 10, the 9, the 5. The 10 backs out of it a little bit. And now the 5 has the preferred line going into 3 and 4. But he's not going to be able to do it. Can Hobbs hold it down there? The 4 washes up the racetrack a little bit, but across the line as they touch, it's going to be the 9 of Barrett Morton stealing the victory in Michigan.
Wow.
And the 5 of Kurtz holds on to second. John Mollahan gets third here tonight, but Hobbs was all over all of them. He just didn't have the preferred line going into 3 and 4. That bottom not where you want to be. Barrett Morton just played it right. Even with that great jump that the 5 got, it didn't matter.
Yeah, the draft here is so strong that even though there was 3 car lengths there, that was probably a little too much. And then they got to race and they're 3 wide and whatever have you. And obviously the 9 comes out and great drive those last few laps to go steal this win.
Beercrest Digital number 9 is able to come out victorious here tonight. The 48, the 55, Lyons ends up 29th. The 55 of Mayse ends up 19th after starting on the pole. And 21 positions gained here tonight for Barrett Morton.
Only led 3 laps, but they were the right 3 laps.
Did it when it counted. And now a second-time winner here in the Overtake iRacing League's Truck Series. We're going to round up your top 3 with post-race interviews. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League live on V-Speed. We're going to take a quick commercial break as we round them up, and we'll be back right after this.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The road gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Swack.
Swack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
There isn't a one-size-fits-all for almost anything in life, so don't settle for a one-size-fits-all setup. Eliminate the frustration in building with an AI-powered personalized toolkit to boost you forward to victory. Optimize your setup and improve your performance over those cookie-cutter builds used by the rest of the pack. Vantage is iRacing.com's first AI setup builder. Save your time and give back to your personal life. Vantage takes any setup for any track and adjusts it specifically to your needs. Choose from over 100 cars for any paved circuit. A custom-tailored experience that's easy to understand and tested to fit any driver style. Subscriptions as low as $8.50 per month. And for a limited time, new members get a 7-day free trial with unlimited access to all Vantage has to offer. Let Orange Speed Vantage free you of the endless loop of testing and get you back on track to victory lane. Visit orangespeedvantage.ai to get started. Back here live at Michigan International Raceway. A little bit of extra cautions than we're used to. Finished out the night here with well over 7 of them, but it was a good one. We had several different lead changes, several different leaders that had an opportunity to win this race. Andy Kurtz, Lucas Lyons, our pole sitter that had a pretty decent day up until the caution started. Kyle Mayse, our first-time winner here at Overtake iRacing League. But here's your final results up on your screen. It's the number 9 that steals away the victory, with Andy Kurtz coming in 2nd, John Mollahan in 3rd. Jeremiah Hobbs in the number 10 is going to finish in 4th, with Michael Robinson in 5th, Stephen Page 6th spot, Dustin Reinstedel 7th, Alex Healy in 8th, 9th spot will go to Christopher McCullough, and then rounding out that top 10, you've got the 38 of Chad Ross.
Cunningham brought it home in P11. You had Hall in P12, Mayse, the other Mayse, in P13. Bieber got 14. Got Morris Jr. in 15, Worthington 16, 17 belongs to Fleming, 18th was Wiegand, then Kyle Mayse, our pole sitter, in 19th, and Parks finished 20th.
21st, Michael Cole with David Sheets in 22nd. Kenneth McAuliffe Jr. is going to finish 23rd. Travis Bieber 24th. Justin Branham in the 58. And then we start getting into the trucks that just couldn't avoid anything tonight. They got caught up in every single accident. The 12 of Justin Miller, the 07 of Brian Kaiser, Dakota Shepard in the 101. Lucas Lyons, unfortunately, gets turned there going into 3, and he's going to come home 29th. CJ Mason in the 66. We didn't talk too much about him tonight, but he was caught up in a lot of accidents. James Kaufman was the most destroyed truck, I think, in the entire race. He's going to finish 31st. Nick Gardner, another innocent bystander. Sean Kaiser, after that touch, ends up getting spun again, and he'll come home 33rd. Bobby Hall Jr., who had some laps led here tonight, will round out your field. So an unfortunate turn here. Everybody from about 25th down was in the top 10 at some point here tonight, but just couldn't stay out of trouble, couldn't seal the deal, couldn't find the strategy to get up front and stay there. Just a number of different factors here tonight that just played a role in the overall outcome of this race. But ultimately, it's who capitalized on that. The situational awareness of these drivers to know that it was going to be like this, and then adapting and overcoming it. That's really what it comes down to with your top three. And we've got some of them down here on pit road now. We're bringing up your third place finisher here tonight, and that's the number 6, scored as the number 2 on track, but that's John Mollahan. And John, I tell you, here tonight with the cautions, it just, you had to keep adapting and changing your strategy. And then, the 75 laps here tonight, that wasn't enough to really decide it. You had to go into overtime.
Yeah, strategy started early in this one. We decided not to take tires prior to the first caution there to the stage, and it really kind of worked out for us great at the end. Obviously, we needed those additional cautions late to gain back some track position. We were able to snipe off one or two every caution, so it really benefited us late.
Well, we saw the situation there with some of the drivers that started up towards the front, and you kind of lurked in the top 10 all night, but never pushed the issue. How early were you planning on saving tires and predicting that this race might go green?
Again, man, we started early with the tire strategy. We didn't want to run it too hard. We won last season here at Michigan, so obviously we were trying to go back to back and just kind of copy last year's strategy, which obviously worked out well for us. We're satisfied tonight with the top three. We'll take it. We kept it pretty clean all night, and anytime you can come away with a podium finish, it's a hell of a night.
Keeping it clean, that was easier said than done for a lot of these guys tonight. You're able to avoid all the accidents. You kept that thing shiny side up. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out tonight?
Oh man, heck yeah, man! First and foremost, you guys up in the booth, OiL for putting this thing on. All the guys at Kanawha Valley Key and Fob, Will, Jory, and Lone, my sons Carter and Jackson, my fiance and Brittany, fiance Brittany. I really appreciate it, and thank you guys so much.
You said fiance and Brittany. That was almost letting the cat out of the bag there,
Ooh,
buddy.
she won't be watching this broadcast now.
Well played, though, and well done. You rehearsed it well, and we appreciate your time, John Mollahan, finishing third here tonight at Michigan. Appreciate you, buddy.
I'll see you next week.
So there is the number 2 on track, the number 6 scored on your ticker, and second place finisher coming down here as we move down pit road a little bit. A little bit disappointing here for Andy Kurtz, but you had to restart so many times. I mean, eventually they're going to figure something out. You changed it up on the restart, and I thought it was going to be enough.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like you said, when just doing a couple restarts, you're just going through it time and time. And I don't really think I learned much, but the guys behind you definitely they learned what I do, which kind of puts me at a disadvantage. So I really wasn't expecting. I think it was John who got that run on me on 3 and 4, up on my outside coming to the white flag. He got next to me, and then we were 3 wide. I was in the middle, so I wasn't expecting that. That just sort of messed up, I guess, my my chances of winning. But it was a heck of a run to the line. Really happy for Barrett that he won. Awesome race, couple cautions, but it was a lot of fun. It was a dogfight back in the pack. Felt like you had a lot of speed, but you just couldn't do much with it just because we were all drafting so much, and the draft was so important. So happy to play the strategy right with our teammates, and I think we're all on the same page and got up front and made the most out of it.
You had a lot of hungry hippos behind you, though. You had the 10 of Hobbs, the 9 of Morton. At one point, you had the 48 of Lyons, who was diving it down to the inside there. You had a lot of people that had potential to run you hard, and you handled it well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these guys, fortunately, I'd say a good bit of them. I'm used to racing around, so I think that really goes a long way. But a lot of yeah, some other guys in here I haven't raced before, so we have a really big field so far. Hope that continues throughout the season. But I think as the races go on, I think I'll learn a lot about racing with people, and I know that really helps you in those situations.
Race number 2, you come home in second position. That's going to help you tremendously in the points. I know that Atlanta was kind of a coin toss for a lot of drivers, but Kurtz, you bring it home in second position. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank or say hi to while we got you up here?
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, want to thank you and I guess everyone at VSpeed for putting on a broadcast for us. This is only my second race with a lot of these guys, of course, with this league. So, really just looking forward to seeing all the great stuff we do here throughout the season. I want to thank Alex and Dave for putting all this together for us. It's been awesome so far. So just really happy to be here.
We appreciate your time. We're happy to have you up here in the broadcast booth. Second place finisher, Andy Kurtz. Almost there, but just short there on the 3 wide. And he'll come home in second place. Appreciate your time, Andy.
Thanks, man.
Finally, Morgan Cook is down in victory lane with your race winner. It's going to be the number 9 of Barrett Morton down there with Morgan Cook.
So Barrett, you did it. Started second on that last restart. What did it take to bring home this win?
Not lifting, man. Just trying to keep them behind you and get pushed if you could. I don't know. A lot of luck as well. I don't know. I'm just kind of shocked, to be honest with you. I didn't expect this one.
So you went into turn 3 in third place, and you came out of turn 3 as the leader coming to the white flag. Did you have any idea what was happening on the top side of the racetrack?
No. I just heard I heard Andy go, "Where did the 2 come from? How did he get that run?" I'm like, "Well, how did I get this run?" Because then he started falling back. I don't know. It just stuck, man. I mean, it didn't take. I didn't fill up the truck on that last stop. I didn't want to make it too loose, and it seemed to be the right call. And I was able to it stuck. I mean, it was all or nothing. I think that's what happened to Lucas, and I think he kind of wrecked himself.
Yeah, it was a tough race for the 48 to end it that way, but you brought it home in victory lane. What did you think of this race overall? I think you started 22nd. You worked your way through the field. What was it like out there?
It was hard. It was actually very tough to pass because you had to try to create runs and see which line was moving. I felt like I had speed all night, no confidence in practice. Qualifying was trash. I just like, man, this is just gonna be it's gonna be track position night, and it turned out to be that way. Luckily, had really good pit stops with the 22nd starting spot. Ended up having one of those pit stalls that's right there at the entrance of one of the pit gates. So it was perfect. Nobody was in my way or anything, so I can get a good stop and get out pretty quick. So I think that helped as well.
Yeah, right on. Well, you led 3 laps. They were the right 3 laps, obviously, as we're standing here in victory lane. Congratulations. Anyone you want to shout out after this win?
Yeah, quite a few people. First off, the Coalfield guys, Jonathan, Mark. This one's for them. Those guys have kind of take me under the wing and allowed me to be on their team and everything. And it's been a great group to work with. I've learned a lot strategy wise and everything like that. Everybody at Bandit Motorsports, Sean Kaiser, I'm sure he's pretty happy I won this one. I'm always finishing second to him. Lucas Lyons, we've become good buddies over the last couple years. And then there's some new guys on our teams, like Andy. Andy raced me so clean all night. I probably cut him off a couple times, and I'm so glad he was patient with me. And I thought it was his race to win, to be completely honest. Let's see here: Spearcrest Digital, Coalfield Supply and Service. I don't even know who else. Rally's Roses, Sergeant Junket, and again all my teammates: Daniel Cunningham, Caustic. I can just go on down. The Beaver Brothers. I don't even know. So many people. This is a big one. It's been a couple years coming or a couple seasons coming from past seasons. Never been able to do it. Finally get my first win in a flourishing league that I'm pretty excited about. So.
Well, you definitely earned it tonight. You drove the wheels off that thing those last few laps and all race for that matter. Congratulations on the win. and we'll go back to Bradley.
We appreciate that time. Barrett Morton, your victory here tonight, and it was a good one. Just a shootout there at the end with 2 green-white checkers. It was a fun time to watch, and here we go with the recap of everything that's happened so far. You have 2 first-time winners here for the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series, and the points just got even tighter. So next week, it's a little bit of a change up. We're going to an egg-shaped track, and it will be the WeatherTech Raceway, I believe. WWT is what they have it labeled as. It's actually Gateway is the name it's been known as for a lot of time. That's what I know it as, and you at home should have a good understanding that WWT will be across the entire league. But then we're going to break up here on week number 4. Some races at Pocono. We got a race at the Roval, I want to say. There's a change up here in the schedule where the trucks and the Xfinity won't follow the Cup schedule. So be prepared for that on week number 4. But hope you can join us tomorrow night when we come back here at Michigan for the Xfinity race at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be hosted here on V-Speed as well. And then the Cup Series will be racing Wednesday at 9 p.m. in the Overtake iRacing League, the Trifecta League. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We'd like to thank Morgan Cook for the awesome job he did in the production, Adam Baker for bringing V-Speed live to YouTube, and Eddie Smith, our other producer, and all the work he does over at VSRN. You can check him out at V-Speed Racing Network on YouTube. But for everybody here, Alex Healy, David Farmer, and everyone to put on this show tonight, this is Bradley Cooper telling you to have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and have a good one. There isn't a one-size-fits-all for almost anything in life, so don't settle for a one-size-fits-all setup. Eliminate the frustration in building with an AI-powered personalized toolkit to boost you forward to victory. Optimize your setup and improve your performance over those cookie-cutter builds used by the rest of the pack. Vantage is iRacing.com's first AI setup builder. Save your time and give back to your personal life. Vantage takes any setup for any track and adjusts it specifically to your needs. Choose from over 100 cars for any paved circuit. A custom-tailored experience that's easy to understand and tested to fit any driver's style. Subscriptions as low as $8.50 per month. And for a limited time, new members get a 7-day free trial with unlimited access to all Vantage has to offer. Let Orange Speed Vantage free you of the endless loop of testing and get you back on track to victory lane. Visit orangespeedvantage.ai to get started.
Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
Cabot,
Where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.